So you talk to a lot of brokers. Why do you think they still underutilize their CRMs?
I think the honest truth is that for a lot of brokers, they don't need a CRM. Now, it'd be very, very good for their business, but it's not a need. It's not an absolute need. And quick story on that, I heard from someone about, 1990s internet revolution. They told the story how, it was email and someone wasn't using email and they resisted it and they didn't like it and they underutilized their email until they literally couldn't do business without it, right? And then they needed to use it. And then, of course, the rest is history. I think it's like CRM, which is, yes, you don't need it. You can run a mortgage business without it, today at least. But, if you did use it, it would be very, very good. So it's about that mindset. But then it's also about looking forward into the future and saying, is there a world in which CRMs will absolutely be necessary? And the answer is it could be. And so you as a broker, you need to start thinking about that and saying, hey, with AI, is it necessary to have a database with all my clients in an organized spot so I can take advantage of other AI tools, right? So I think that's the forward-looking way to think about it.
Yeah, I think it's similar in the advisor space. Like, for example, if they're selling insurance, if I sell you a policy and it's a term 10, I might not even talk to you for 9.5 years, right? And you don't have to.
Yeah.
You
don't have to.
Yeah, so it's a similar trend. I think the other thing that goes on is there's so many disparate systems in the advisor world that don't talk. So there's double entry inherent everywhere, and that's often an excuse. You put it in your CRM, you put it in Canada Life, you also put it in your BMS or your back office tool. So there's a lot of work where when they look at it, they're like, well, I need to put it in Canada Life to get paid. I don't need to put it in the CRM, to your point. So I think the other thing to just keep in mind for these advisors is if you're ever going to try to sell your business, broker or advisor, you have to have something in there. And so
what are you selling otherwise?
Yeah, exactly. Just a promise basically that you have some clients. But if you can prove it, you have a process that increases your multiple. But it really comes down to it's not necessary as well.